I was told that social media credited to me names of 3 people from the South that I am sponsoring for presidency in 2023. If I will sponsor people for presidency, it won't be 3. I would be a fool to be sponsoring 3 at the same time. But how did this come about? I don't know. My friend, Professor Abdullahi, who brought this to my knowledge, remarked that he did not believe that I made such a statement because it was out of my character. I have neither named names nor stated my position. In situations like the one we are in, I will not rush into naming names without necessary consultations and well-defined principles and criteria. We need to be clear about what Nigeria needs today and why Nigeria needs it. Only then can we answer the question of how. That will inform us of the criteria and characteristics for determining who. I believe in principles before personalities. And taking personality before principles is putting the cart before the horse. As for me, the major issue is how to progress Nigeria from a country to a nation. The last part of our anthem talk of building a nation where truth and justice will reign. Do we have truth and do we have justice on the basis of which we can build a nation? If in 2015 Nigeria was 75% a country and 50% a nation, today Nigeria will not be more than 50% a country and 25% a nation. That's how far we have gone down in nation building. The task of reversing the trend is beyond one personality, one political party, or all political parties. It is beyond professional and commercial politicians alone. It demands and requires all hands on deck. I mean Nigerians in all walks of life, politicians, community leaders, traditional leaders, religious leaders, diplomatic leaders, leaders in the academia, leaders in all aspects of government life, and leaders in other aspects of the civil society. Nigeria is tottering, and for as long as we continue to put the cart before the horse, it cannot be well. Or put another way, for as long as we continue to do the same thing over and over again, the result will not be different. If the drift is not halted, the remaining 25% of Nigeria nation will be dissipated in no time, and Nigeria will not be a country, but countries, and will never be possible to be a nation again. That will be a monumental tragedy for Nigeria, Africa, the black race, and for humanity. Since 1999, we have changed from one political party or another. We have maneuvered and manipulated to the point that election results are no longer reflections of the will of the people, and we seem to be progressively going back rather than going forward politically, economically, and socially. We have activities without requisite action and personnel to move us forward. If we continue in the same pattern of recycling, sweet talk, sweet word campaigning, maneuvering without substance of integrity, honesty, patriotism, commitment, outreach, courage, understanding of what makes a nation and what makes for development, we will soon have to say goodbye to Nigeria as a nation. I cast a cursory look at some of the people running around and those for whom people are running around. If EFCC and ICPC will have done their job properly and supported adequately by the judiciary, most of them will be in jail. Any person who has no integrity in small things cannot have integrity in big things. Fixing Nigeria must begin on the principle of nation building, not necessarily on emotion, sentiment, euphoria, ignorance, incompetence, ethnicity, nepotism, bigotry, sectionalism, regionalism, religion or class. The issues of security, stability, development, economy, and our relationship within Africa and with the rest of the world can only be taken care of if we get the issue of nation building right. We have a lot to learn from the events of the last almost 24 years, and God is not to blame if we fail. It will appear that we are not getting our priorities right, and that can spell doom on our country if we fail to do what we should do for nation building in terms of fundamentals of equity, justice, common ideals, popular education, shared, let me digress a little bit on popular education. Everybody in the world knows that not less than 15 million children of Nigeria that should be in school are not in school. And what are we doing about that? We seem to be complacent. And yet, we believe that, well, we will knock Boko Haram to submission, to non-existence. If we do, those who will be the Boko Haram of 10, 15 years from now are those 15 million children that are not in school, that should be in school. And believe you me, it will happen. We don't need to deceive ourselves. And from personal experience and clinical observation, there's no substitute for steady and uncompromised process of nation building, as we have had in some notable examples in the past that have stood us in good stead. Voting Shehu Shagari into power in 1979 with Alex Ekweme from Biafra as number 2 in 1979, less than 10 years after attempted secession by Biafra, was in the process of nation building. It took the United States of America and other countries that had gone through such wars decades before they could achieve that feat after their civil war. Sustaining the declaration of the victory of Shagari by the National Electoral Commission, when Shagari had majority of votes and clear 1/3 of votes cast in 12 states, as against 6 states by Obafemi Awolowo, which was also sustained and certified by the court and endorsed for implementation by our military administration, was also part of the process of our nation building. Voting for me by other Nigerians in 1999, when Afenifere, the Yoruba substantially voted against me, strengthened our nation building process. As continuation of that process, PDP adopted rotation and sharing formula for 6 key party political offices and government offices among the 6 geopolitical zones, which stood the country and the party in good stead. It was the PDP policy that made it advisable to have candidates from the South. Not to have candidates from the South to succeed me after my 8 years in office as president. I was succeeded by Umaru Yar'Adua from the North. When Yar'Adua died in office, the nation-building process made us to follow the Constitution and for Jonathan to step in, contrary to the desire of some people from the North who agitated otherwise. I have been at the giving end and at the receiving end of contribution to the nation-building process. And I know that if we derail for nation-building process with solid principles, Nigeria will be shipwrecked. I will, at this juncture, leave it to fair-minded Nigerians who believe in the continuation of the process of nation-building to decide which way Nigeria should go. I have always maintained that if we look hard, widely, and fairly, and we bring objectivity, national interest, and patriotism to bear, and which must be spiced with equity, integrity, performance, then no region or zone should claim to have monopoly of Nigerians that can lead us along the path of nation building on the basis of justice, fast economic development, inclusive growth, shared values, and our rightful place in the global division of labor and decision-making process. If we are going fault-finding, zonally or regionally, no region or zone can claim absolute innocence. And federal character is a very important and perfect instrument of nation building in our constitution. When we have adequately taken care of nation building measures, especially management of our unity, and taking care of every anomalous situation and performance or lack of it that have put us in political, security, economic, and solid economic and security quagmire situations that we find ourselves, then we can zero on personality. Each contender must be properly x-rayed and profiled from birth, and Nigeria must be educated to be able to make a choice that will be in the national interest and that will propel Nigeria forward. Such a person will have to lead what remains of the nation to courageously continue on the path of nation building as a national team leader, no matter on what platform he or she assumes leadership. No one can do it alone. We must, however, stop sacrificing character, track records, and performance on the altar of ethnic, regional, or religious jingoism. As the watchman counts on daybreak, so too do I count on Nigerians and Nigeria to bring forth that person. I do not, and cannot, and will not at this point suggest the how and why and what. I can only count on the patriotic commitment and desires of well-meaning Nigerians to start the process of forging a path out of darkness into the light of salvation and new glorious dawn. It is time to reach into the ability of Nigeria to always snatch victory from the jaws of defeat as we start this collective search on how we can climb out of this hole in which we find our country, Nigeria. God bless Nigeria and make it into a nation. May God bless Africa too and make it a great continent as we continue to stoke the embers of the African narrative. Thank you for your attention and thank you for honoring me.
Thank you very much, Baba Africa. Thank you.